the leader. They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet. The mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing, that only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work, no work.
Why we can't band together at this time, at this moment? This is going to be Black History Month, right? Y'all all say Martin Luther King had a dream, but guess what? I am the dream.
Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to First Reaction TV. My name is J-Mart. So we all know the city girl mayor by now, Tiffany Henyard. We know how crazy she is. We know some of the crazy things that she's done and some of the crazy things that she is accused of doing. We also heard her mention Black History Month and how she is the dream. Well, with Black History Month coming to an end, I figured it would be a good time to take a look at black women in politics and black women in the political world and to see how things are faring for them. Because with Tiffany Henyard, with Fani Willis being the spotlight of the news lately, it would be a good time to dive into black women in general and to see how they're doing in politics. So we're going to take a look at some of our black female leaders and we're going to see how things are going for them. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really appreciate you watching. So with that being said, let's start with Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard, where she just currently did an interview with Roland Martin. Let's check out what she has to say.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you allowing me a platform to speak my truth. I'm the mayor of Dalton.
So with Tiffany here ready to tell her truth, let's go ahead and jump right into one of the main controversies surrounding Miss Henyard.
Longtime municipal attorney Bert Odelson says he was stunned when he saw the latest move by controversial Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, who also doubles as the mayor of Dalton. 2 weeks ago, the township board passed an ordinance that allows Henyard to continue collecting her $224,000 a year salary. But if anyone other than Henyard gets the job, the ordinance resets that salary to $25,000 a year. Odelson says that's blatantly unconstitutional because you can't set an elected official's salary based on who's holding the seat.
What took place with the change in pay for the Thornton position? What your critics say is you led an effort to cut the salary if you don't get re-elected, but the salary stays the same if you are re-elected.
And see, that's again what I mean by research and what I say the media and everybody doing the smear campaign. It's an ordinance already on the books. They didn't tell you that, right?
No, what's the ordinance?
The ordinance is on the books. My predecessor, he created that ordinance and it's already there.
So you're saying that predated you?
Yes, and it's there. I have the proof for it.
Okay,
yes.
So the salary is currently what?
For myself, $224.
So when there's the next election, then if the current supervisor is not reelected, then it drops to what?
25.
Well, hell, it's just a smear campaign. The media didn't come with y'all facts. I mean, what the hell, media? What's wrong with you guys? Tiffany says she has proof that this was on the books before she ever came into office. What the hell's wrong with you, media? Get y'all facts right.
It was already dropping to those numbers.
It was dropping from
whatever their salary was, which is the $224 to $50,000.
Okay, and then when you came in,
I dropped it to $25,000.
Wait a second. What'd she just say?
I dropped it to $25,000.
All right, so it seemed like the media does have their facts straight. And unfortunately for Tiffany, she just told on herself, and she actually told the truth for once. Now, even if you take Tiffany's story about the administration before her creating this ordinance, then that would mean that Tiffany would be the next person in line and that her salary should have been this $50,000. Because once again, the ordinance is for the next person in line, their salary drops. Well, Tiffany would have been that next person, so it should have been her salary that dropped if somebody else had created this ordinance. The problem is, I did as much research as humanly possible, and this ordinance does not exist. But the ordinance where Tiffany drops it to $25,000 does exist, and it was created by Tiffany Henyard. The media did catch her, and the media reported this correctly, and Tiffany is lying, until she obviously just told the truth finally. And unfortunately in this interview, this is one of many lies that she gets caught in. Let's keep going and see what the next lie should be.
you also you have a charity that from the Attorney General's office. I understand they sent a cease and desist letter to your foundation.
I don't know nothing about that. I'm not crazy. I'm not
You have
deranged.
Tiffany Henyard Cares, your foundation. So the Attorney General's office hasn't reached out to you regarding your foundation?
So I want to set the record straight. I don't have a foundation. If someone uses my name to push their charity, or if you say this is Tiffany t-shirt, people gonna buy it. Because right now I'm considered what? Clickbait. People make money off of my name by views. So you just say my name.
You say you don't have a foundation.
I do not. And that's why I tell everybody, go do your research. I'm not on anything.
All right, so the charity foundation that Tiffany Henyard marched for, the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation, apparently isn't hers. It just has her name, her picture, her website. She promotes it, but it has nothing to do with her. So I wonder whose it could be then, since she has nothing to do with it, and she has no idea about the cease and desist letter from the Attorney General.
That's Keith Freeman sitting next to her at a Dalton meeting where he's the village administrator. Freeman is also an advisor to Thornton Township, and he's the guy listed as the registered agent of Tiffany Henyard's foundation.
Okay, so the registered agent on the charity is Tiffany Henyard's advisor. It still doesn't prove anything, though.
What is the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation? You said it's not affiliated with you at all.
Correct.
Well, what is it?
So someone made up a foundation. They named it after me, and they like my work that I do in the community, and it's called Tiffany Henyard Cares. So I'm just trying to answer to the.
So you're saying there's a foundation that's not registered, but it has nothing to do with you?
Correct. That's true.
Okay.
That's
so you're not aware of any of the work that they've done, money that they've raised, anything along those lines?
Correct.
Okay.
Public money has been used to fund Henyard's private charity. They say board members were asked to approve a $10,000 payment to the foundation in 2022, days before a much publicized cancer walk from Dalton to Springfield. Thornton Township credit card records show taxpayers then footed the bill for more than $10,000 in hotel rooms along the route.
Okay. So it's getting a little bit hard to believe that Tiffany wasn't funneling public money into the charity that she created to where her personal advisor is the registered agent on the charity. Now, it still doesn't technically prove anything. I mean, at least she's not on video saying she's creating this charity or anything, right?
Yes, I'm real big on a cancer foundation. I have created Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation, and what that entails is helping everybody.
Okay, so I give up. She's caught red-handed once again. And the problem is that this is a reoccurring theme for Tiffany Henyard. And you have to ask yourself, why would you lie about doing something good? Why would you lie about creating a cancer foundation for charity? What is bad about that? The only thing that could be bad about that is if you're funneling money in that you shouldn't be funneling, like public tax money, or if you're taking it out for personal gain and that you're hiding it from the IRS and that you're stealing from the public. So just during this interview, Henyard has denied starting the foundation. She has denied knowing anyone that has any ties with the foundation. She has denied knowing anything about public money being funneled into the foundation. And she has been proven wrong about every single one of those things.
A lot of people just upset because I am a trendsetter. I am a trailblazer. I am showing people what they should have done with the seats, because y'all all judging, meaning people out there are judging off of hearsay, false allegations, and not facts. Get facts first, and then make your judgment.
You have other trustees who suggested that the city is in a deficit. What is the state of the city's finances?
So we are in a deficit, but it's not what everybody's claiming it to be. 5 million, 7 million, 8 million, it's all false. Our deficit is $2 million.
What led to that deficit?
So it comes from them not paying bills.
This deficit that you have, you're saying that's a result of the trustees not paying the city's bills?
Correct.
But do you have the resources?
Yes.
To pay the bills?
Yes.
So how's there a deficit?
Because they won't pay the bills.
Alright, so for this trendsetter, apparently people are just coming forward trying to smear her and spread false accusations. So let's get into the facts like Miss Henyard wanted. Let's dive into the public spending. Let's see how Miss Henyard is managing funds and see if it could be adding to the deficit.
WGN Investigates has cataloged tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars spent on trips, meals, and more by Tiffany Henyard and her allies in Dalton and on the Thornton Township Board, where she's the supervisor. Township credit card records show Henyard and other officials spent more than $67,000 on trips to Portland, Austin, Atlanta, and New York City. Many of the flights were first class. So were the accommodations. In Atlanta, Henyard and her team stayed at the Four Seasons Hotel, costing taxpayers more than $9,000. In New York, the bill came to $13,000. Henyard has refused to explain the specific purpose of the trips or why they travel in such style.
Take a drive to the south suburbs and you can't miss them. 4 giant billboards featuring Tiffany Henyard's name in large letters, along with her picture, smiling down on the thousands of cars going by on Interstate 57 and the Bishop Ford Expressway. Bills obtained by Fox 32 under open records laws shows Thornton Township paid more than $10,000 for the vinyl signs themselves and more than $12,000 to Clear Channel Outdoor Advertising for 1 month's rental of the billboards.
They show township taxpayers also spent money on the Vegas trip, on everything from steak dinners to hotels, and $3,741 just on Henyard's round-trip flight.
You're making decisions and spending money and then get mad when we don't approve it because it's not financially sound. I sat here and looked at a lease that y'all was paying $149,000 for one of them trucks. You make that's like when you 19 years old and you go get a car and the interest rate 27%. That makes absolutely no sense. You're not making great finance. Excuse me?
Please state facts.
But let me tell you, here it is, dated December 27, 2022. The cash price of a 2023 Chevy Tahoe, $93,216.71. Interest and APR, $55,929.49. Total lease price, $149,146.20. Tell me if it's not facts, because your signature is all on it.
I don't see that.
Okay, but you want me to pass?
I don't.
All right.
The officers are paid every 2 weeks, which without overtime is 80 hours. But when they're put on Henyard's detail, that 80 hours balloons to well over 100 hours, sometimes 200 hours. And in the case of Officer Terry Young last May, 303 hours worked over a 2-week period. That resulted in a single paycheck of more than $13,000. Other officers on the security detail are also racking up overtime paychecks in the multiple thousands of dollars. And we found Dalton credit card statements showing that Henyard takes the detail with her even when she travels out of town, spending thousands of dollars on plane tickets, lodging, and meals for the officers.
Overtime, police, before this administration that did not have security details following them around everywhere, overtime was at $600,000 maximum every year. This administration is at $1.6 million. How are we going to get service? We need the mayor to stop spending money irresponsibly. When we talk about the deficit, last fiscal year through May, the deficit was $2.5 million in our operating account. This year through the report we got, which was September 30th, I pulled that up as you were speaking. So from May through September, there was an additional $4.2 million of deficit. So you couple those two together, the deficit is growing and it's approaching $7 million.
Our deficit is $2 million.
$2 million.
$2 million.
All right, so this story just keeps getting crazier and crazier, and there is so much here. Apparently, the false allegations are true. Tiffany Henyard was flying across country. She was taking her private security across country while she was paying them village overtime. While she was paying them village overtime to go on these trips, she was then using the village credit card to pay for her and the private security. Then whenever she got back to town, she's paying for $12,000 a month billboards with pictures of her face on it. Then, after she's done with the billboards, she's driving around $150,000 vehicles where she's paying over half of what the car is actually worth just in interest rates. Then when she's done driving around town, she decides, hey, let's add an extra $1 million just in police overtime. Why? Because I need private security. Just to put this in perspective, she could have hired 10 more police officers, paid them each $100,000 a year, and put 10 more police officers on the street full time. That's how much money she was paying and wasting on her security force. So who do you guys believe? Do you guys believe the trustees just aren't paying the bills? Or do you think this massive deficit could have something to do with all this crazy spending that's going on? I wonder which it could be. Now, also don't forget that the paperwork they have proving and showing what the deficit actually is just from May and September of 2023 from last year. They have no idea how much more she has actually spent, and they have no idea how much more damage she has actually caused. Okay, so trying to move forward here, Tiffany Henyard has told us,
because y'all all judging off of hearsay, false allegations. Get facts first, and then make your judgment.
get facts first. Get your facts first before you make a judgment, and don't go off false allegations. The problem for Tiffany is that the facts are in. The receipts are out, and the trustees brought them. The journalists brought them. The public has brought it. And they're all standing up to Tiffany here. And the facts just aren't on her side. So she can deny until she's red in the face. The problem is that we all see she's not taking accountability for her actions. And it's a common theme that whether it's race, whether it's gender, Tiffany Henyard just thinks she can do whatever she wants, and no one's allowed to judge her, either because she's black or because she's a woman, or both. She has compared herself to Martin Luther King, and she has said that she is the dream.
But guess what? I am the dream.
Her making that statement alone shows the level of narcissism that we're dealing with here. It also points to the lack of leadership and why she may be lacking the leadership skills and why she's unable to take accountability for anything she's done. So with this video and part 1 coming to an end here, there are more accusations coming out about Tiffany as we speak. So I'm sure this isn't going to be the last video we do about her. We're going to continue to follow this story. We're going to call her out for the corruption. We're going to call her out for her greed. And we're going to do everything we can to hold her accountable as she's actively running this small town into the ground. So I really hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you liked it, please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Comment, let me know what you guys think of the video. Moving forward, we are going to do a full deep dive into the Fani Willis story. We are going to cover Kamala Harris, Cori Bush, KJP, and we are going to cover some of the other black women in the political world. So please stay tuned for part 2 and also look out for part 3. I really appreciate all your guys' support out there, and thanks for watching.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas?
I am a trendsetter. I am a trailblazer. I am showing people what they should have done with the seats